Hello, and welcome back. I'm Anthony, your neighborhood business coach. And for this video, I'm actually going to talk about a fellow Nigerian that was able to start a business in Nigeria while he was in California, USA. So a lot of times we hear about people trying to start businesses from abroad and trying to do something back home. It doesn't work out, something happens, but this guy was able to actually make it work. So I'm going to talk about this story and give some points for you to think about as you go on your own journey of entrepreneurship, or if you're just interested in just hearing a nice inspirational story, so it can do something for you. So, but before you begin, if you haven't already done so, definitely subscribe to this channel and click on the bell so that you are alerted when I do drop new videos. So I'm gonna go ahead, switch the screen so you can see who we're talking about. So this guy's name is Shalom Bako Dangombe. So a little bit about his story. So he's in the superfood industry, and basically he was able to find a space in the superfoods industry where he can make a lot of money. Now superfoods, it deals, what are the superfoods? Actually, I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna do it right now because there's a list of superfoods, and here you go. So avocado, berries, green tea, blueberries. So you can see all of this. These are some superfoods, and there's more to it than this. But whole point is a very lucrative market, and I think at this point it's worth billions of dollars. So if you're looking for a niche to get into, then superfoods is definitely a very good niche. This guy was able to, Shalom, he was able to find a niche, and then he was able to exploit it. And this story really talks about his whole story and journey. I believe it was kind of like an interview style. And I'm just going to pick up some pieces. I'm not going to read the story back to back, but I'm just going to get the parts that you want to focus on. So his story begins in Bauchi, Nigeria, and he moves to California. In order to be successful, he had to be able to adapt just to different situations. And when you're going into anything that deals with business, you always have to be flexible. You always have to be able to weather the storm. Things are not going to happen the way you want it to happen, and you just got to be on your feet. You got to be ready to pivot. You got to be ready to do what you need to do. So what he was able to do was find an opening. He was adaptable. He first went to go do soccer, but then that didn't work out for him. So then he was able to find something else. And I really want you all to read this article yourselves if you're really interested in it. And then you could kind of see it's just more backlog of what actually happened. But there's pieces of this that I actually want to talk about. So the first thing is just think to yourself, like how might just being adaptable in your life lead to like high value opportunities. So that's the first thing I want you to, just think about in your head, in your mind as you're just listening. If you're not fulfilled in your life, then there has to be a change somehow. The world is not going to change for you. You have to change for the world. You have to do something. You can create change. So you have to be open to listening to different opportunities, different perspectives, and just being flexible. You can't be scared. You got to be able to leave your comfort zone. So just think about, okay, if you're not happy right now with your own life, like right now, in what way can you be more adaptable? Maybe trying something new, maybe going somewhere else, maybe talking to new people, maybe getting outside your circle of friends and family and going to something that's like the opposite, and just seeing what they're talking about, seeing what they're about. So it's always good just to get different perspectives and understand, hey, the world is big, is multivariable, like there's so much stuff going on. You want to be able to pivot when opportunity comes your way, because if you don't and you just stay lockstep in whatever you're trying to do, that's how you start missing your blessings and your opportunities, and then next thing you know, it's just more unfulfillment. So that's the first thing. So he started he tried to do soccer. Started in soccer, and let me actually get back to the scene. You can see in Orange County, California, he tried to get into soccer. That didn't work, so then he started looking at different markets, and he found, okay, superfoods. So the demand for superfoods, specifically hibiscus, was increasing, and then that's how he was. There you go. That's how he was able to think, okay, maybe there's a way that I can make a profit off of this. So you start seeing it increase, and he was like, okay, maybe there's something I can do. So a question to ask yourself is how does something like this, okay, he noticed a commodity that's growing in value and people are paying a lot of money for. How does this make you consider market trends in your own career choices? So let's just say, okay, the biggest thing for a while was cybersecurity. A lot of people wasn't picking up on cybersecurity, but the people that were wise, especially in the US, because everything is tech, everything is online, you need a way to defend yourself, especially governments. So because there is a high demand for cybersecurity analysts, a lot of people start picking up the skills just by watching YouTube videos. They was taking courses, and it was just trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to know so that I can get hired? A lot of people got hired, and a lot of people get made good money. Now I'll tell you an opportunity that's going to be happening as a lot of these West African countries start to develop and get more online, and that these governments need skilled workers in order to protect their data. That's always going to be there, and it's just an ongoing thing. It's not like you just said it once and you just forget it. No, they're going to need people to manage their infrastructure or to protect their infrastructure from cyber attacks. So this is just one industry is always going to be in high demand. It's going to get even more, especially with AI technology that's increasing. You want to put yourself in a position where, okay, you see where the market is going, you see where the future is going. Like in 10 years, how is the world going to look like? Think like that. Think 10 years beyond, and then start planning now. So that's what this guy was doing, and that's what you want to think about. Like, there's always going to be some market trends going on, and just think about your career, think about your life, think about any business opportunities you want to be in. Does it make sense? Is there a high percentage of just winning whatever you go to? So anyway, so typically, as he was going into doing the hibiscus, and he was also trying to get into fashion. So he was going back and forth. So he was trying to figure out his way. Eventually, he settled on the hibiscus, and then after like just trial and error, and then he had a lot of hiccups and things just weren't going his way. But he was like, no, I'm gonna stay to it. I'm gonna stick to it. And then he was able to just bounce back and then just get from wherever he was to the next level. So the question to think about in this situation is just how strong is your level of persistence? So when you hit roadblocks, when you hit just barriers and just resistance, would you say that your persistence is strong enough to fight through, or just look back from previous situations? How did you respond to just threats? Did you say, okay, I'm gonna just do something else, or like, was your mentality to just fight through it? So it's not just about entrepreneurship. It's also, this is just a personal characteristic that you want to have for yourself. You want to be mentally tough. You want to be strong. You want to be courageous. You don't want to back down from just roadblocks or any type of resistance that comes up against you. You want to be prepared. You want to be ready, and even when you're in the thick of things and it's getting tough, and you're feeling down, you still want to have that mindset of just fighting through. So as he went through his trials and error, he stuck to the hibiscus tea, and he just started realizing that, hey, in the U.S., like, it's very lucrative, and there's no way I can just write this off. Let me just continue to build and build and build and build. And when it just comes to business, you're always looking for, okay, yes, you want to make profit, but also you want to think about, okay, where can I make the most profit? Where can I have the most value, so that all the work that I put in order to build this business, to do what I need to do, I'm able to get a nice return that makes it all worth it. And so you really want to have the mindset of just looking at, like, just those high value gaps that you can identify in your area of interest. So whatever you're doing, whatever interest that you have in life, look for gaps where you can actually profit off of it, and it's really good. It can take care of yourself, you can grow, you can expand, you can do whatever you need to do. And this is what most of this article, I'm trying to see if I can catch up with where. So now it's just talking about the sources and stuff like that. So in the story, he had problems with just trade barriers, and then there was a block. I think it was, where was this block at? Mexico. Unfortunately, there was a temporary ban on the trade of hibiscus from Nigeria into Mexico, so he was able to sidestep that, come across that hurdle, and it was able to solve that problem. So in doing that, he's thinking creatively. Okay, so the obvious answer to get to this end goal, whatever, is not working. What should I do next? So the persistence is coming in, where it's just like, okay, I can't just stop. So then the next thing is like, okay, let me start thinking creatively. This is why it's good to, you don't want to tell yourself, I can't do something. You want to tell yourself, how can I do something? How? Because how, it activates a different part of your brain that gets you into the creative mode, and you start thinking of any type of ideas, any type of solutions that can possibly happen. And that's what you want. You want your mind to be thinking. Our minds are very powerful if used correctly. They're very powerful, and we just don't give it enough credit. Especially if you read a lot of books, like, let me get on camera. If you read a lot of books, nonfiction, and also a little bit of fiction, I think it's good too. I kind of changed my stance on it, but if you keep reading a lot of books, you're gonna start picking up ideas. And your subconscious mind is also, it's processing all the time. It's picking up just little bits of data, you don't recognize it. But if you keep on reading, you're gonna start getting ideas, and you're gonna start seeing things differently than a lot of people. And so when you see a situation, sometimes you can start to remember, hey, wait a minute, this happened in history before. This isn't I mean, it might be different in today's time, but this isn't really a new concept, a new situation. So because you've been reading a lot, you come across some of this stuff, you're going to start recognizing patterns. So I always recommend read. So anyway, just being creative, he was able to solve the problem, and at the same time capitalize on the opportunity that was there, which is really his financial goals that he was able to work on. All right, so came across that, raw materials. So now, another part of just doing business, and even just in life, if you even work in a regular job, is the importance of building trust in relationships. And the only way for him to, I mean, he has his suppliers that he needs to be aware of, especially because he's abroad. So how is he going to do that? He has to find a way to build good relationships with them. So, I mean, just building trust is always going to be essential in any type of business that you do. And if you don't, it's going to be long-term. It's going to be short-term success. If you don't know how to craft good relationships with people, just in life, because life is really about life is all about relationships. If you really start thinking about it, if you try to get anywhere in life, you can't get anywhere by yourself. The more relationships that you form, the more connections that you're making. And a lot of times you start seeing that, hey, you got a connection for this, or say you was being denied service here or something like that. Imagine if you knew people can say, hey, you know what, I can vouch for this person, I can get you in. So a question to ask yourself is just, how do you see the role of just trust and maximizing financial potential in your own industry, or even in your own life? Think about if you work in a job and you want to get a promotion, or you just want to get something more favorable to you. If you don't have a relationship with your higher ups, your boss, or your coworkers, or whoever, more than likely no one is really vouching for you to get that whatever you want. But if you develop relationships with everyone, people see you favorable, they like you, you're more likely to get that promotion, or people are going to send opportunities your way without you even asking for it. So it just comes down to people like working with people that they know and trust. Be one of those people that they know and trust, and you can find favor in that. So the next part that he did. So this is the end. And basically it's just he's looking ahead. He's trying to do more with his business. He wants to get into agro processing, which is really important, instead of just exporting just raw form of products. So when it comes to yam, cocoa, it's all the raw product forms. He actually wants to process it, juice, if you want to make juice and stuff like that, or turn certain products into medicine. So he wants to get, so he's thinking about the future, and that's another thing. And when you're in business, you always want to be thinking ahead, 10 years ahead minimum. 15 years, 20 years is where you want to look at. You can't think like the average person if you want to be successful. You want to be good, you can't act like a normal person. You can't think like a normal person. You got to go above average. That's what I'm saying. Most people don't read, so you can at least start there. Read more than the average person. I think that at least in America, the average person reads about 2 books a year. In a whole year, just 2 books. So you be that person where you're just like, okay, I'm at least read 1 book a month. And you could do more than that, but let's just say 1 book a month. Imagine all that knowledge you get from those books, because think about it. Those books have years of experience from somebody. I'm talking about nonfiction. Years of experience from one person, and you can read it in, it really takes you a month. Read it in a whole month. That's like 20 years, 50 years or whatever of experience, and you just read it in a month. Like, you're winning, and it's cheap. Books are cheap. So you always want to be thinking about the future, put some knowledge in your head, and then, I mean, all those steps are gonna set you up for success just in your journey of entrepreneurship. So so that's the end. If you have any questions about this guy's story, if you're actually, I'm curious to know what are your own answers to some of these questions. Or I guess if I can ask you a question, like, do you have a specific niche or a specific industry that you want to get into? Or what would you say is the biggest problem that you're having when you're trying to start a business? If you want to start a business, is it the idea? Is it looking for a need? Is it, you don't know what you do, you don't have the capital, leave it in the comment section below, so I'll respond to it. I am a business coach, and I do try to help solopreneurs, novice entrepreneurs, small business owners start better businesses that they can actually sell in the end when they're ready to transition to something else. So let me go ahead. If you are in the DMV area, and you're looking to hang out with some cool West Africans, you want to do some different activities other than just going to the club, then you definitely want to check out my meetup groups. The Any Yoruba's here, that's my main one, where it has the most social events. This is for entrepreneurs, West African Entrepreneurs Guild. Just started that one. That one is freshly new. And then this Afro Pulse, that's more about conversations, just about what's going on the African continent. So it can be on any topic at all. So if you're interested in that, then definitely check that out. And also, if you are ready to start your own entrepreneurial journey, you're ready to invest in yourself, then first step, go ahead and check out my course. It's a 7-week course. Part of the first week is actually free, is actually open, and you get the intro, all of the intro, and then part of it's like half of this first psychology of entrepreneurship. So you can check that out and see what type of, if it's for you, if it's your thing, then you can continue to sign up for the whole course. So there you go. All the links are going to be in this video's description. Let me know your thoughts as far as what industry you're trying to get into. What do you see as, if you're looking at West Africa, just back home, what areas or what countries do you think are the best, most profitable areas to be in? And also, if you're having any trouble with just starting, what are the main issues that you have when you start your own business? So until next time, I'll see you in the next video.